Stop everything. This is not a drill. The internet is currently in a state of absolute, unmitigated cardiac arrest, because we have just secured the most devastating, high-definition, soul-crushing footage in the history of Hollywood. You thought you knew drama, but you have never seen a collapse like this. The untouchable, the ice-cold, the legendary queen of the elite dating world, Lori Harvey, has been caught in a moment of such raw, visceral agony that it's officially broken the social media Richter scale. We are talking about a literal emotional explosion in the middle of a five-star Parisian lounge that has left onlookers paralyzed with shock. Why? Because the impossible just happened. While the world was busy shipping Lori with the man of the hour, the Rebel Ridge powerhouse Pierre, he was busy orchestrating the ultimate, blood-chilling betrayal. He wasn't just caught with another woman, he was caught in a heated, breathless, and undeniable romantic clinch with the ultimate industry siren, Teyana Taylor. This is the heist of the century. We have the leaked messages, we have the audio of the screams, and we have the frame-by-frame breakdown of the exact second Lori Harvey's heart shattered into a million pieces for the entire world to see. This isn't just a breakup, it's a total celebrity execution. Grab your oxygen masks, because we are diving headfirst into a pit of fire, secrets, and a level of shade that is so dark it's blocking out the sun. Do not move, do not blink, because what you're about to see will haunt the industry forever. The velvet curtains of the most exclusive VIP lounge in Paris didn't just fall. They were ripped down by the sheer force of a betrayal so cold it's frozen the entire industry in its tracks. We are taking you inside the absolute carnage of that fateful night where the golden girl of the socialite world, Lori Harvey, came face to face with a reality she never saw coming. Sources on the ground are describing a scene of total psychological warfare. Lori arrived at the venue draped in custom vintage couture, looking every bit the woman who has the world at her feet, expecting to meet Pierre for what was supposed to be a secret, high-stakes romantic dinner to solidify their status as the new supreme power couple. But the air in the room shifted the second she stepped past the security detail. There, in a dimly lit corner shrouded by shadows and expensive champagne, sat Pierre. But he wasn't alone. He was locked in a physical and emotional embrace with Teyana Taylor that was so intimate, so domestic, and so undeniably passionate that the entire room went silent. The music didn't stop, but for Lori, the world turned into a vacuum of deafening silence. Witnesses claim that for a full 30 seconds, Lori stood paralyzed, her eyes darting between Aaron's protective arm around Teyana's waist and the way Teyana was whispering something into his ear that made him throw his head back in a laugh that was silenced the moment he looked up and locked eyes with Lori. This wasn't a "we're just friends" moment, this was a "we've been lying to you for months" revelation. The leaked security footage, which has been circulating in the dark corners of the web, shows the exact micro-expression on Lori's face as her composure, the famous Harvey stoicism, completely evaporated. Her knees buckled, and for the first time in her public life, the tears didn't just well up, they burst forth in a violent, gasping sob that echoed off the marble walls. This was the sound of a woman who has spent years being the one who leaves, finally realizing she was the one being left. But the drama didn't stop at the tears. Teyana Taylor, known for her unfiltered energy and "don't play with me" attitude, didn't shrink away. Instead, insiders report she tightened her grip on Aaron's arm, staring directly at Lori with a look that can only be described as predatory victory. It was a silent declaration of war that spoke louder than any shout. The tension was so thick it felt like the oxygen had been sucked out of the building. Aaron, caught in the middle of a literal goddess and a legend, looked like a man who had been caught committing a crime. He tried to stand, tried to reach out, but Lori's lead security guard, a man who has seen it all, stepped in, creating a physical barrier between the wreckage of a relationship and the new, burning flame. Behind the scenes, the digital world was already on fire. While Lori was being ushered out the back entrance, shielding her face with a 20,000 handbag. A series of leaked text messages began hitting the group chats of every major influencer in LA. These messages, allegedly from a burner account linked to Teyana's inner circle, showed weeks of late-night rehearsal sessions between her and Aaron that had nothing to do with music or acting. One text specifically read, "She thinks she's the prize, but she's just the placeholder." If these are real, we are looking at a level of premeditated shade that is calculated to destroy a reputation. The internet is already dissecting every like and every follow, discovering that Teyana and Aaron have been sharing cryptic, matching emojis for months right under Lori's nose. This wasn't a random hookup, this was a slow burn heist of the heart. As Lori's blacked-out SUV sped away from the scene, reports from the driver's side claim the atmosphere inside was haunting. Lori wasn't just crying. She was reportedly screaming into her phone, demanding answers from a man who was, at that very second, still sitting in that lounge with another woman. The betrayal is deepened by the fact that Lori had reportedly been the one helping Aaron navigate the shark-infested waters of Hollywood PR, as his star rose with Mufasa. She gave him the blueprint, she gave him the access, and he used it to find the one woman who could challenge her for the throne. And just when you think it couldn't get more explosive, a grainy audio recording from a waiter's pocket has surfaced, capturing the final words Teyana said as Lori fled the room, a sentence so cold, so cutting, and so final that it has sent the Bayhive and the Harvey Hive into a literal state of emergency. The question everyone is screaming is, how deep does this rabbit hole go? Was Aaron Pierre ever really Lori's man? Or was he a double agent in the ultimate game of celebrity chess? As the first images of Lori's tear-streaked face began to trend globally, the world realized that the Infinity Stone collector had finally met a force she couldn't control. But don't think for a second that the Harvey empire is going down without a fight. Even as we speak, her team is reportedly preparing a dossier of receipts that will turn this romantic date into a legal and social nightmare for everyone involved. The knives are out, the cameras are rolling, and the first shot has been fired in a war that will leave only one woman standing. But as the screen fades to black on this first chapter of chaos, one image remains burned into the collective memory of the internet. The look of pure, unadulterated triumph on Teyana Taylor's face, as she watched the Queen's crown fall to the floor. The silence following the crash of the Harvey empire didn't last long. It was merely the fuse burning down to a massive, global detonation. As the clock struck midnight in Paris, the digital landscape didn't just react, it fractured. While Lori Harvey was reportedly sequestered in a soundproof suite at the Plaza Athénée, surrounded by a crisis management team and a mountain of discarded tissues, the rest of the world was witnessing a social media scorched earth policy that has never been seen in the history of the 2020s. Part 2 of this nightmare began with a single, devastating notification, a leaked FaceTime recording that appeared on a prominent gossip site's private Telegram channel. The video, grainy but unmistakable, allegedly shows Aaron Pierre sitting in the back of a chauffeured car with Teyana Taylor, just minutes after the confrontation. In the recording, Aaron is seen rubbing his temples while Teyana looks directly into the lens, whispering, "He's with the big dogs now," before the feed cuts to static. This wasn't just a snub, it was an execution of Lori's public image. The fallout was immediate and catastrophic. Within 30 minutes of that clip going viral, the hashtag #LorisLament began trending, but the sympathy was short-lived as a counter-narrative began to emerge from the depths of the internet. A series of leaked emails, purportedly from Lori's own personal assistant, hit the inbox of every major tabloid from London to Los Angeles. These emails detailed a secret, dating contract, that Lori allegedly required Aaron to sign before they were ever seen together in public. The stipulations were mind-blowing: no solo interviews, no unapproved social media posts, and a mandatory cooling-off period after every public appearance to maintain the mystery. The internet went into a frenzy.
We got to behave.
Was the entire relationship a PR construct that backfired? Was Aaron Pierre's romantic date with Teyana Taylor actually a desperate act of rebellion against a socialite who treated him like a brand instead of a boyfriend? The plot thickened when Teyana Taylor decided to break her silence in the most aggressive way possible. She didn't release a statement, she released a playlist. An Apple Music link appeared on her Twitter titled, "The Real Mufasa's Queen," consisting entirely of songs about betrayal, hidden love, and the fake industry lifestyle. But the crown jewel of this psychological warfare was a 15-second snippet of a new track she's been working on with Aaron in the studio. In the background, you can clearly hear Aaron's deep, baritone voice saying, "I'm finally breathing," followed by Teyana's unmistakable laugh. The level of disrespect was so high that even Lori's most loyal followers started to waver. How could the woman who has dated the world's most desirable men be so thoroughly blindsided and outmaneuvered in less than 24 hours? But then came the retaliation. If you thought Harvey was going to take this lying down, you don't know the Harvey bloodline. At 2 a.m., a close friend of Lori, who many speculate is a high-ranking publicist, leaked a series of voice notes to an anonymous TikTok account. These recordings are chilling. They feature a man who sounds identical to Aaron Pierre, pleading with Lori to forgive him for an incident that happened weeks prior. In the audio, the voice says, "Teyana is just a distraction, Lori. It's always been you, but I can't handle the pressure of your world." If this audio is authentic, it paints Aaron as a master manipulator playing both sides of the fence. The social media war shifted instantly. Suddenly, Aaron was no longer the hero of the story, he was a villain caught in a web of his own making. The Team Lori movement surged back to life, flooding Teyana's comments with claims that she was nothing more than a rebound for a man who couldn't handle a queen. The chaos escalated when a physical confrontation allegedly broke out in the lobby of the hotel where Aaron and Teyana were staying. Eyewitnesses, including a group of high-profile fashion bloggers, claim that Lori's security team attempted to enter the building to retrieve personal items, but were met by Teyana's own security detail. Words were exchanged, chests were puffed, and for a moment, it looked like a full-scale brawl was going to erupt under the chandeliers of the Ritz. The police were called, but no arrests were made, only adding more fuel to the fire. The paparazzi captured images of Aaron Pierre looking haggard and stressed, clutching his phone like a lifeline as he stood on a balcony, seemingly arguing with someone on the other end of the line. Was it Lori? Was it his agent? Or was it Teyana, who was reportedly seen packing her bags in the background of a live stream? As the sun began to rise over the Seine, the true cost of this betrayal began to emerge. Several major luxury brands that had been courting Aaron Pierre for upcoming campaigns reportedly paused their negotiations. The controversy was becoming too radioactive even for the fashion world. Meanwhile, Lori's mother, Marjorie Harvey, posted a cryptic quote on her Instagram story about snakes in the garden and the strength of a woman who knows her worth. The subtext was a tactical nuke. It signaled that the entire family was mobilizing for a counterattack that would go beyond social media. The rumors began to circulate that Steve Harvey himself was making calls, ensuring that Aaron Pierre's Hollywood honeymoon would be a very short-lived experience. But the most shocking twist was yet to come. Just as the world thought it had a handle on the narrative, a video emerged from a hidden camera inside the very lounge where the initial burst in tears moment occurred. This wasn't the blurry footage from before. This was crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. It shows the moments leading up to Lori's arrival. In the video, Teyana and Aaron aren't just hooking up, they are discussing a plan. You can hear Teyana say, "She's coming. Make sure the lighting is right. This needs to look real." The world stopped. Was the entire betrayal a staged event? Was Lori Harvey the victim of a coordinated character assassination designed to boost Teyana's new album and Aaron's bad boy image for a future role? Or was Lori in on it too, looking for a dramatic exit from a relationship she was bored with? The internet collapsed under the weight of the speculation. If it was staged, it was the most cruel and brilliant marketing stunt in the history of fame. If it wasn't, then Lori Harvey had just been publicly humiliated by people she thought were her peers. The leaked video ends just as Lori walks into the frame, and the look of sheer, unscripted horror on her face suggests that if this was a plan, she was the only one not in on the joke. The betrayal went from a simple romantic snub to a deep, dark conspiracy involving industry plants, fake romances, and the total destruction of a woman's dignity. The stakes were no longer about who was dating whom, they were about who was surviving the fallout. As the second act of this tragedy drew to a close, the tension reached a breaking point. A source close to the situation leaked one final piece of information before the platforms began issuing takedown notices. It was a screenshot of a final text message sent from Aaron Pierre's phone to Lori Harvey's private number. It contained no words, only a single image, a photo of the dating contract, torn into pieces and burning in a hotel ashtray. The message was clear. The old rules were dead. The queen had been dethroned, and the new power couple was laughing in the ruins of her reputation. But as Lori's plane took off from Le Bourget airport, headed back to the States, a single tweet from her official account sent a shiver down the spine of the industry. You think you won? You haven't even seen the receipts yet. See you in LA. The cliffhanger was set. The war was moving from Paris to the heart of Hollywood, and the world was left gasping for the next revelation. The moment Lori Harvey's private jet touched down on the tarmac at LAX, the atmosphere in the city changed. This wasn't just a celebrity coming home, it was a general returning to the front lines. Part 3 of this explosive saga kicked off with a digital tactical strike that made the previous leaks look like child's play. While Aaron Pierre and Teyana Taylor were reportedly celebrating their victory with a high-profile, paparazzi-heavy dinner in New York, Lori was in a war room in Hidden Hills. At exactly 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, a mysterious website, simply titled The Pierre Files, went live for exactly 60 seconds before being scrubbed. But 60 seconds was all the internet needed. The site contained high-resolution scans of wire transfers, non-disclosure agreements, and most devastatingly, a series of deleted DMs from Aaron Pierre to Lori, dated the very same night of their romantic date with Teyana. The content of those messages was enough to send the stock price of every gossip platform into a tailspin. In the DMs, Aaron wasn't acting like a man in love with Teyana, he was acting like a man under duress. One message read, "She has the tapes from the studio, Lori. If I don't show up tonight, she's going to leak the unedited tracks and ruin the Mufasa contract. I have to play along." The narrative flipped in a heartbeat. Was Teyana Taylor not the new lover, but the ultimate industry extortionist? Was Aaron Pierre a victim of a high-stakes blackmail plot? The social media landscape shifted from Team Teyana to industry emergency within minutes. The Twitter wars became a frenzy of forensic analysis as fans tried to determine if the messages were real or the most sophisticated PR forgery in history. The chaos reached a fever pitch when Teyana Taylor went live on Instagram. She didn't look like a woman who was losing. She was sitting in a darkened room, smoking a cigarette, with Aaron Pierre visible in the background, staring out a window. "You want to talk about receipts?" Teyana whispered to the 500,000 people watching. "Let's talk about the Harvey blueprint. Let's talk about how every man she touches has to sign away his soul to a family that thinks they own the culture." She then held up a legal document that appeared to be an injunction from Steve Harvey's legal team, and with a smirk that chilled the bones of every viewer, she ripped it in half. I'm not a contract, Lori. I'm a force of nature. And you're Mufasa. He didn't need a blueprint. He needed a breakout. The stream cut out just as a loud banging could be heard on the door, sparking rumors that an actual physical intervention was taking place. The leaked audio that followed an hour later was the final nail in the coffin of celebrity civility. An anonymous source, claiming to be a disgruntled security guard, released a 3-minute recording of a phone call between Lori and Teyana. The vitriol was nuclear. You could hear Lori's voice, cold as dry ice, saying, "I made you relevant again. I gave you a storyline. You were supposed to be the other woman for the press tour, not for real. You broke the protocol." Teyana's response was a guttural laugh that has since been sampled in 3 different viral club tracks. "The protocol is dead, Lori. You got too comfortable playing the queen. You forgot that some of us actually know how to fight for what we want." This revelation was the ultimate bombshell. The hookup was a staged PR stunt that had turned into a real-life betrayal. Lori had invited the fox into the henhouse for the sake of engagement, and the fox had decided to move in. As the world reeled from the realization that the entire drama started as a fake, leaked story only to become a very real tragedy, the collateral damage began to mount. Michael B. Jordan, Lori's most famous ex, finally broke his silence with a single, black and white photo on his story of a chessboard with the queen knocked over. The subtext was clear: checkmate. Meanwhile, Aaron Pierre's management team reportedly resigned en masse, unable to navigate the radioactive fallout between the Harvey dynasty and the Taylor firestorm. The romantic date, that started with tears in Paris, had ended with a total scorched earth reality in Hollywood. The final, leaked, clip of the night showed Lori Harvey, appearing for the first time since the Paris incident, walking into a high-powered law firm in Century City. She didn't look like she was crying anymore. She looked like she was calculating the cost of a total industry blacklisting. The psychological breakdown of the fans was just as intense as the celebrities themselves. Fan cams of the happier times between Lori and Aaron were being deleted by the thousands, replaced by investigative videos claiming that the entire year of 2025 has been a scripted reality show. The line between truth and fiction has been completely erased. Is Aaron Pierre still with Teyana? Some say they saw them boarding a private flight to an undisclosed island. Others claim Teyana has already moved on to the next target, leaving Aaron to deal with the legal wreckage of his broken contracts. The truth is buried under layers of NDAs, deleted voice notes, and the digital echoes of a woman who was seen bursting in tears, but was actually preparing for the most expensive legal battle in the history of the One-Earth. Just when you thought the night couldn't get any darker, a final insider leak hit the wire. This one wasn't a message or a video. It was a photograph of a positive pregnancy test left on a marble counter, allegedly taken inside the hotel suite Aaron and Teyana shared in Paris. There was no caption. There was no confirmation. Just a photo that promised a level of drama that could last for the next 9 months and beyond. The internet didn't just break, it shattered. If there is a baby involved, the Harvey-Pierre-Taylor triangle isn't just a scandal, it's a legacy of chaos. The cliffhanger isn't just about a breakup anymore. It's about a new life born into the center of a hurricane. This is the end of the world as we know it in the celebrity sphere. The queens have fallen, the heroes are villains, and the receipts are still being printed. If you think this story is over, you haven't been paying attention to the way the Harvey family settles their debts. The lights are out in Paris, but the fires in Hollywood are just starting to burn. We are standing on the edge of a revelation that will make everything you've just heard look like a bedtime story. The next 24 hours will decide who keeps their career and who becomes a cautionary tale in the history of the elite entanglement. Listen to me very carefully. The elites are scrambling to scrub this footage from the internet as we speak. Lori Harvey's legal team is working overtime to issue a total blackout on these leaks, and if you don't act right now, this video, and the truth, will vanish forever. This is the most dangerous, high-stakes betrayal Hollywood has ever seen, and you are standing at the ground zero of a cultural earthquake. If you aren't part of our inner circle, you are flying blind while the world burns. You cannot afford to miss what happens next. The pregnancy receipt is about to drop, the unedited Century City audio is being uploaded, and the fallout is going to be fatal for someone's career. Hit that subscribe button immediately and smash the notification bell like your life depends on it, because in this game of secrets, being a minute late means being left in the dark forever. Missing the next update isn't just a mistake, it's a digital death sentence.